Welcome to Winging It. We're playing Arkham Horror, the card game. This is the infamous Essex County Express. Some love it, some hate it, but we're going to have a good time, or we're going to try. This is Progression Dunwich, where I'm only playing with Dunwich cycle cards and two cores, and I'm playing Agnes and Wendy, who are core investigators. If you want to see links to my deck upgrades, you can see there's a link in below. So I'm going to draw up opening hands, and let's get started. We need both cluing and fighting, so we'll just see what kind of spells. Yeah, we'll probably keep the Drawn to the Flame. Do we want both of them, actually? Yeah, probably. We don't really need the Fire Axe. We'll keep the Shriveling. Do we need the Fearless? We don't, because we don't have any Horror yet. So we'll keep both Drawn to the Flames. We need some clue getting stuff, and then we'll draw 2 more cards. Okay, we got a Lucky, and we got a Ray of Seeking. So we're set up to clue. We're set up to pass tests. We'd like to get a Peter, but it's okay. I'm reasonably happy with that. All right, Wendy, we have 2 backstabs, a Leo DeLuca newspaper, and Abandoned Alone. We get to immediately replace the Abandoned and Alone, which is too bad. Actually, I'd love to have it in our opening hand. Just get it. Okay, so I think we don't need to worry about any management stuff. Agnes has that covered. So we'll take away the 2 backstabs, and we'll keep Leo newspaper, which is super good in this scenario, and emergency cash, so we can afford it all, and get 2 more cards. So we get Wendy's amulet, okay, and we'll get a flare. So we could potentially pull out the cat burglar, which would also be excellent in this scenario. So. Although, as I think about it, the grappling horrors won't allow you to move if they're if they're engaged with you. So I think that you couldn't use cat burglar on them. I'd have to check and see on that. Before I go any further, I will note that we had to add a -3 into the bag, so it's harder. And each of these locations is connected to the left and right. It even says that if you look on these locations, they're all the same thing. It says train car is connected to the locations to the left and the right. You cannot enter the train car unless all the clues to the locations to its left have been discovered. Which is why newspaper is so good in this scenario. Because as soon as you spin clues, she gets her intellect test again. Intellect. Okay, so let's look at the agenda. A terror in reality. As the train to Dunwich comes to a jarring stop, you look out the window behind you and see an immense tear in the sky, like a rip in a piece of cloth. Several rearmost train cars are pulled backward, and there is a dreadful metallic crunch as they are detached. The train cars topple upwards and into the rift in the sky. Nearby passengers are panicking, others are cowering in their seats, and one elderly man has fainted in fear. Okay, and then we get scenario 1A, run. Actually, Act 1A, run. The train has stopped on a bridge high above the Miskatonic River. You might be able to survive the fall, but you don't like your chances. Your best bet is to make your way to the engine car as fast as you can and get the train running again. Objective, and if an investigator enters the engine car, that's here to the right, immediately advance. So just a quick word about this one because it is infamous. This is a scenario that a lot of people feel like is super easy and a lot of people feel like is really hard and unfair. And a lot of that can have to do with player count, but a lot has to do with luck. But when you combine low counts like a 4 Doom Threshold with Ancient Evils and cultists, you can easily get something where the agenda advances and there's nothing you can do about it, and then you lose the scenario, and that's a giant feel bad thing. You don't generally experience that as much in solo, so this is one of the few scenarios that actually is easier the lower player count you have. So that's just a note about that. Okay, it does say in the setup that we don't resolve the enter effects on the train cars, so we won't have to do what this says, but we will have to on the other ones. Now, we'll flip this over. This is the passenger car. Passenger car is connected to the location to the left or the right. Fourth, after you enter the passenger car, you must either discard cards from your hand with at least 2 fight icons or take 2 damage. Alright, so we don't have to do that, but we do need these 2 clues. So Wendy can get one of those clues fairly easily with the newspaper, but it doesn't seem like that is my best play. So I am going to go ahead and draw into the flame to get this, but I want a way to fight in case things go bad. So Agnes will spend 3 to get a shriveling out. And then she will play Draw into the Flame. She has to draw an encounter card, and then we will get 2 clues, which is great off of a 4-star location. So we get an Acolyte. Okay, so we spawn at an empty location. After Acolyte enters play, place 1 Doom on it. So this is definitely the time we want to be able to deal with that. We get the 2 clues. Now we're not going to have enough actions. We're going to put it here to the right because we don't want to put it behind where we're going to have to get through another train card to get to it. Agnes is going to walk into it. She's going to take a damage from the Acolyte, but hopefully she'll be able to shrivel it next time. I mean, potentially Wendy could punch it, but I don't know how she would do that. I mean, she could commit, I guess, Wendy's amulet, but all that feels bad. So, anyway, we'll use our last action to move in. The Acolyte comes onto her, and let's see what the forced effect is on this. Okay, this is passenger cars connected to the left and the right. After you enter, you must either discard a card from your hand with at least 1 random question mark icon or take 1 damage and 1 horror. Well, actually, if we take the damage and horror, we can kill the Acolyte, and we're going to take a damage anyway from the Acolyte. So let's just take the damage and horror. So we'll take a horror, and we'll take a damage and a horror, and we can use Agnes's ability to kill the Acolyte. So, Mischief Managed. Now, it's a 1 shroud with 2 clues on it. Which isn't so bad. I bet Wendy will be able to get this fairly easily. So, let's just go. Alright, that's Agnes's turn. So, Wendy is going to, first action, play Emergency Cash to get 3 resources. She has her amulet, so she could actually do this again, but we're not going to worry about it just yet. We're going to spend 5 resources, so 3, 4, 5, for a second action to put Leo DeLuca into play, which will give her an extra action. So she's got 2 actions left. She is going to move into the passenger car, and then she will spend 1. It just occurred to me I should have taken Lone Wolf out with Adaptable rather than the manual dexterities, because Lone Wolf is useless here. And she'll play the newspaper. So right now her intellect is super high for this. And yeah, we'll see how we go. That is a good progress. I feel good about making it that far in the first turn. So, all right, here we go. It's time for Upkeep. Agnes will get her own Emergency Cash. Nice. And a resource. She's ready to play Peter if she can find him. Okay, and then we have a Backstab for Wendy. Okay, and a resource. Okay, we're at 1 of 4 Doom. And we'll get... Agnes is going to get a Frozen in Fear. So she can only... The first time she either moves, fights, or evades, it takes 2 actions. So that's not ideal when you're trying to move fast. But then that's probably why it's in the deck. Okay, we have a Helpless Passenger. This surges. You put it into play at the location you're left, or at your location. If you cannot, it is a parlay. Take control of Helpless Passenger force. If the Helpless Passenger leaves play, each investigator takes 1 horror. That's just going to be horror we're going to take, because we're not going to go back and then... Oh, Wendy needed to discard icons or take a damage and a horror. So she would have discarded Flare. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I forgot about that. But she doesn't want to walk back and then have to do another question mark icon. So we're just going to have to live with taking a horror. Now it does surge. It has surge on it. So we get another Acolyte. Okay. So there we go with the Doom. So now I think we try... Agnes isn't going to be able to do much. Or she has 2 actions here. If she moves. We're going to try to get the... We're going to try to get the clue. We have the newspaper. And so Wendy will, Wendy's just going to investigate. She's at 5v1, which is pretty good. All right. So that's pretty good. She gets the clue. So now newspaper's turned off. She's going to be investigating at 2 up. She can pitch a backstab if she wants, if she needs to redraw. Okay, that is the current agenda number, which is 1, so she passes. So she gets the clue. Okay. I think we are going to go ahead and spend 2 for Wendy's amulet, which it would in fact let me play Flare if I wanted to. So we're just going to play to get out the cat burglar. It's just something that we can consider doing. It's just that I don't think that she's going to be able to attack the acolyte. So let's move in and see what we get. Okay. So the train car has, this is the dining car. Okay, there's no forced effect on it. Dining car is connected to locations to the left and the right. Forced after you enter the dining. Oh, okay, I was wrong. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Grappling Horror and draw it. Okay, well this is a problem. So we're going to get a Grappling Horror. Okay, it's a 3/3/2 hunter. While you're engaged with the Grappling Horror, you cannot move. So yeah, I don't think that she could actually. I guess she could use a cat burglar with this. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, she could also flare it if she could get enough. Hey, it's engaged with her. She's gonna take a damage in horror because I went in, and she's actually got the acolyte, so she's gonna be taking a ton of damage here. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. She's got Soak and Leo at least. I don't know if Agnes really. I mean, I think Agnes just walks in and shoots, and then we can shoot both the next time. We actually don't have to worry about clues, which is a nice thing on this one. So let's keep going. Okay, Agnes will move in. And that takes her 2 actions because of Frozen in Fear. She's got 1 action. There's part of me that wants to just see if she could land just a shot, but I guess I won't do that. Just a hit, and use Lucky. Just use a punch, but I guess I'm not. I'll use a Shriveling. Actually, and if the Shriveling kills her horror, she could, take out the Acolyte. So we're gonna go against the Grappling Horror. Actually, I guess. Yeah, we'll go against the Grappling Horror. Okay, it's +1. We don't get a spooky token, so we don't get to do a horror, but we do 2 damage against the Grappling Horror. And enemy phase, Wendy will take 2 damage and 1 horror. Oh, before that, actually, I need to test Frozen in Fear. Agnes is going at 5v3, which seems okay. We're beating the skulls, which is kind of my measure for. I don't know. if you're doing well, it's at least being able to beat the skulls is a thing. It's unfortunate there's the extra -3, so but it is what it is. Okay, we got a 0. We get rid of the Frozen in Fear. That's great. All right. So we did the damage in the horror. Now it's Upkeep. Okay, we'll get a Delve Too Deep. We might be able to place that at the end of the scenario if we're fast enough. So that's something, as long as there's nothing that makes it discard from hand. And then we'll get a Cat Burglar. So we really don't need that flare at all. Although we can't play the Cat Burglar. Okay, we are now at 3 of 4 Doom and drawing encounter cards. If we get an Ancient Evils, we just are done. We advance, but that's okay. Rotting Remains, we're at a 5v3. Again, if we fail this as Agnes, by like 1. If we pull the -3, we could actually, you know, ping the Acolyte or the Grappling Horror for damage. So that's nice. All right. So here we go. We do not fail. She's just too good for that. Okay, and then Wendy will get pushed into the beyond. I think we'll just put Wendy's amulet. I don't know that it's going to get us that much benefit, so we shuffle it in and we discard 3 cards. And then if it's, we take 2 horror if it's the amulet. And the amulet only has 1 target to hit. So, and again, I'm not sure that, I mean, now that we got Cat Burglar, we don't really want to recur Flare anyway. So, and it's going to be easier for us to hit with Backstab. Alright, discarding 3 cards. We're going to discard Lone Wolf. That's good. Guts. And Wendy's amulet. We take 2 horror. Wow. What were the odds of that? That was pretty gross. Alright. Okay. Ooh. I need to shuffle better. Okay, Agnes is going to shrivel the Grappling Horror. She wants to make sure that she's up by an... Oh, she's got Lucky. So if she fails, she can Lucky this. So we're not too worried about hitting Wendy. So we're at 5v3. Too bad we don't have the higher level shriveling. Shows you why upgrading into it, it'd be valuable. Okay, Elder Sign. She just gets +1, the horror on her. Grappling Horror is dead, so now we can move. Okay, we're using another shriveling. We're getting low on our shriveling charges here. But, you know, we've drawn a lot of enemies, so I'd like to think that maybe... You know, there's part of me... No, I'll just do it. I think I could wait till the agenda advances, but we actually don't want the agenda to advance. Because we'll take a horror. Okay, we're at -4. We do not want to stab Wendy, so we'll spend 1 to play Lucky, which registers a hit. We kill the Acolyte, and then we draw a card. Agnes will draw her other Delve to Deep. Not very helpful cards right now. Also, I just want to start delving in the middle of the train car. Alright, and then she will move into the next train car. And we get... Let's see, 1 Shroud. Oh my gosh. 6 clues. Okay, after you enter the passage car, you must either discard card from your hand with a total of 2 agility icons or take 2 damage. She's taking 2 damage, which is... Yeah. Not a good thing. She's halfway to dead. Okay, so that's her turn. Now Wendy can play the Cat Burglar, or commit to ditch the Cat Burglar to avoid the damage, but I think we will just... We can soak the damage. I'm going to draw a card and see if we get something with an agility icon. So action 1. Okay, well that's good. Okay. Action 2. Emergency cash. Okay, I think now we just move in and take the damage, I guess. Yeah. So she'll move in and she'll take the 2 damage. And then I'm actually going to play Emergency Cash to get 3 resources, and then that way she can play Cat Burglar, and she'll be good. I could have discarded that to avoid the damage, but I mean he'll end up being 2 damage soak anyway. All right, so but we're halfway through the train car already, and we haven't reached the first doom threshold. Apologies, I was looking at the discard pile, thinking that it feels like we're so far along for only having 2 doom that I thought maybe I've done the wrong thing, and that there should be another doom. But I had forgotten that the Grappling Horror was pulled out, and that Agnes pulled one out with her Drawn to the Flame. I do need to put the clues on the location, which I forgot to do. Lots of clues to get. Okay, now it's Upkeep. Agnes will get... Oh, her Peter Sylvester. So I gotta choose that between that and Rite of Seeking. Although she has the Emergency Cash too, so we might just take a breather and get all of that onto play, because the Rite of Seeking will definitely be good. And then Wendy will get a Will to Survive. Very important card for some later up stuff coming on. So she's got 6. And actually, she could also use it to play the backstop like I did before. Alright, we're at 3 or 4 Doom, and we're drawing encounters. Agnes will get Dissonant Voices. What was I saying about wanting to play Peter or Rite of Seeking? She cannot play assets or events, so she's just going to be investigating with her 2. That is super unfortunate. She can't even play Drawn to the Flame. Alright, and then we get Claws of Steam. Test 3 willpower. If you fail, take 2 damage, and you cannot move from this location this round. Damage from this effect must be assigned to your assets first, if available. Oh my gosh, that is brutal. Okay, that would kill Leo DeLuca. And I don't know how Wendy survives that. Well, she can pitch a card. I wonder, I mean, I could give up. Oh man, I can commit a Drawn to the Flame. Agnes will commit a Drawn to the Flame, and that gets Wendy to 5v3, and she can chuck it to Look What I Found, because the Shroud here is so low, and I'll be comfortable with that if she needs to redraw. So 5v3, we get a 0. Okay, we pass. All right. Whew. I was a little bit stressed there. Okay. Okay, so Wendy will go ahead. I just want to have the Cat Burglar out. For various reasons. That's action 1, and then we have 3 more actions. We're just going to do straight up investigates. We're at 3v1. We're just going to keep going. Newspaper does not kick in yet. Okay. That is the current agenda number. So that's 1. So, or -1, we get a clue. Here we go again. This is for 3rd action. -3. We were at 3v1, so we fail. We could spin 2 to play Look What I Found. But I think I want to save up for Will to Survive, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, 3v1, last investigate. -1. Okay, we get 2 clues. We get a clue. Okay. Agnes. She doesn't really get much by investigating, but we want to play this Rite of Seeking and this Peter. We can't play the Emergency Cash. I think we're going to draw a card. She draws, and she gets another Rite of Seeking. She could commit a Rite of Seeking. I'd like to see if I can get a Rosary. I'm gonna draw 1 more card and take 1 more resource. This Dissonant Voices. Okay, we get a Ward of Protection. That can be great, especially if we get like an Ancient Evils. And then we'll take a resource. And, be in good shape, I guess. Got a handful of cards. Okay, Upkeep. Agnes will get another Ward of Protection, because I shuffle well. She's at 8 cards now. Did I grab the other resource? No. Not. There's 6 resources. And then Wendy get Armitage, who she cannot play, but she can commit for icons, so... Cat Burglar. Just go over my charisma. Okay. Alright, so now the agenda advances. The rearmost car of the train detaches and is pulled backwards. To your horror, it rises off the tracks and is consumed by the gate above you. Remove the leftmost location from the game, or place in the victory display if it has victory X and no clues on it. Each investigator at that location is defeated. Each enemy and asset at that location is discarded. Discard all clues controlled by the investigators. So this has the nice effect of turning on Wendy's newspaper. So we get rid of all the clues. So now she's investigating again at 5. That's pretty good. We remove this from the game, which kills the passenger. And so everybody takes a horror. We'll just put a horror on Cat Burglar. Okay. Now we're looking at the new agenda. It's 3 doom threshold, much shorter. The maw widens. The terror grows larger, and you can feel the rearmost car of the train shaking as it's pulled backwards. The situation threatens to erupt into chaos as more passengers realize the danger they are in. Some passengers are looking for places to hide, while others are running about the compartments in terror. Now is the perfect time to panic. Right, and then Agnes will get... Oh, the Distant Voices is gone, thankfully. She will get the Emergent Monstrosity. Well, this is a problem. It's Fawn's location to your right. It's not a hunter, so we have time to prepare. And it enters play exhausted. It's a victory won. We want to kill it. So yeah, it comes here after we get all those clues. But Wendy is, well, if we shrivel it, and if we can shrivel it and backstab it, which we might need for the will to survive, to do that effectively, then we can kill it. So that's good. Okay, and then Wendy gets Rotting Remains. She does not want to for that, so she's going to commit Henry Armitage. She's at 5v3. Still beating the skulls because the agenda is 2. Okay, -1. We pass. Okay, good. Okay, well, we're not going to move in on the Emergent Monstrosity this time, but I do think that we have we can spend 3 for Peter Sylvester. We can soak some horror for her. If I'd planned better, I could also play Right of Seeking, but I did not. So we'll go ahead and play the... well, we could get a clue committing our other Right of Seeking. We'd be up by 2. Nah, doesn't seem worth it to me. We'll just play an Emergency Cache, and if we draw a Holy Rosary, that will give us enough for later. Oh, wait. We played Peter, we played the Emergency Cache, and then, yeah, we can spend... Yeah. We don't have enough actions to play the Right of Seeking, but we can certainly play it this turn. So, yeah, Right of Seeking. Excellent. There's 3 charges, and we are ready to go. Get us some clues. Alright. I wish you had another shriveling for the to handle the Emergent Monstrosity, but such is life. Okay. Wendy's just going to do 4 straight up investigate actions, and then next turn she can oh, she's going to need more resources. She's going to backstab. Whatever. Okay, we're investigating. She might be able to evade it, actually, pretty easily. Maybe we just do that initially. Okay. So you get an Elder Sign, which is just +0. Alright, she gets a clue. Investigating, second action. Okay, that is Agenda 2. So, or Act 2, we still get a clue. Actually, we were at 5v1 last time. Whatever, okay. We're going again. Okay, that is -1. If you fail, it's your turn. Lose all remaining actions in your turn immediately. Well, that's no good. Okay, and last one, we're at 3v1. Let's hope we can do it. Okay, -2. We got all the clues. We can move in. But, of course, he'll be ready and he'll whack us. So, we'll have to see what our odds are there. Only I had a manual dexterity, huh? Alright, so Agnes will draw Fearless. Pretty okay. And Wendy will get... Oh no, Amnesia. Oh, that is terrible. We'll keep the will to survive, but it means our plan for killing and getting the boss is just out. We just can't, or the monstrosity is out. He readies. And we put a Doom. And we'll draw an encounter card, which is Broken Rails. Each investigator location loses 1 action. Each investigator location with 4 or more damage must also discard an asset he or she controls. Fortunately, nobody has 4 damage. Oof, that is gross. I could ward protection that, but losing an action right now probably isn't that bad. We have to figure out a way to do the Emergent Monstrosity. Oh, we got another Broken Rails. So, we're just losing actions. Alright, well, given that we just lost like a ton of actions, we only have 1 action, we're not going to move in and deal with the monstrosity. We're just going to accept that we're taking a setup turn here. Again, with Agnes, I think I'm just going to draw a card. And we could have warded one of those, but I think an Ancient Evils is a better one. So, okay, well, howdy do. I'm happy for that. We got our upgraded Shriveling here, so that's pretty good. So we can play that, and then we have ways to do damage to that guy. Okay. And then, oh, hey, a double or nothing. I wonder if we get double or nothing damage on that guy. I don't know. Okay. And she has 1 more action. We're going to draw another card. Although, do we need resources? No, we're okay right now. We're just going to draw another card. And we get another newspaper. We could go up to, like, really high. Okay, so that was our whole turn. We had 2 actions, 1 action. Now let's do Upkeep. Let's keep drawing cards. It's good in a card game, though. Okay, Agnes will get another emergency cash. And a resource. She's okay. Really the only thing... Well, we want to be able to play, actually, that upgraded Shriveling. And then we get another Cat Burglar. So if our Cat Burglar bites it, we can play another one. If we had enough resources, which we probably don't. But alright. Let's see how the Mythos is going to deal with us. We are going a little bit slower, but we made a lot of good progress early on, so I'm kind of okay with it. Agnes gets a Rotting Remains. You know, she's okay. She's got Peter now, and so she's at 6v3. That's really solid. So we want her getting these Rotting Remains. I feel like we've seen like way more Rotting Remains than we should. Alright, we get a -3, so we pass, because we were at 6v3. Alright, Wendy. Alright, another helpless passenger. Okay, well, we're going to lose that one, although we actually could reasonably walk in and pick that one up. Wendy, but Agnes, we don't have enough actions. No, because we still have to discard icons or take damage when we come back in. It's just too brutal. Okay, and that does surge, actually. Into an Acolyte. Okay, we are just going to put this happy little Acolyte on the back of the passenger card, because it's the witching hour. We're going to advance anyway. He can just do his little ritual and fall off the back. that's where we're at with that guy. All right, so I think Wendy moves in. And then she evades the monstrosity, and we go from there. All right, so Wendy will move in. We'll look at this train car. This is a 4-shroud, 1 clue location. Sleeping car is connected to locations to the left and right. You take an action to gain 3 resources. Remember that you have stolen a passenger's luggage. Group limit once per game. The infamous gain 3 resources. So, it's one of those, it's really fun because that's one of those things that Matt Newman put in there that doesn't do anything, but everybody's so freaked out about it doing something that they all want to take the luggage. So, alright, there's 1 clue there, and we got to get that 1 clue before we can leave. Incidentally, that may be a reason to actually put in this second newspaper into play. But she's got all those clues. But we'll lose the next turn, so I don't know. Anyway, she's got 3 actions left. Wendy will evade this Emergent Monstrosity. Alright, she had a -1. She was actually at 5v3 because of the Cat Burglar. It's evaded. Okay. just making sure there was nothing I was missing. We have 2 actions left. I'm tempted to draw cards because maybe we get a flashlight or something. So we'll draw a card. We get a flashlight or something. So we will spend our last 2. We'll spend 2 resources to put flashlight into play, which means that she'll be fairly good on getting that clue without having to use a charge off of Agnes's right of seeking. That's pretty nice. I'm saying that because I know we're about to lose our clues, and that'll turn on newspaper. Okay, so Agnes will come in, and then she'll shrivel the Emergent Monstrosity, and then she'll play her other shriveling. So, it seems good. Alright, so she's going to move in. Action 1. Action 2, she'll use her last charge of shriveling. She is at 6 to beat 4. We will commit a Fearless to be 7 to beat 4. We're up by 3. It seems pretty solid. This will heal a horror if we're successful. Alright, -2. We pass. We do 2 damage. I was actually kind of hoping... Well, actually, we are going to take a horror here when this... the Helpless Passenger isn't going away this time. We do heal a horror. I'd like to be able to take a horror to do a ping of damage to him, but it doesn't look like it's in the cards. Yuck, yuck. Okay, and then for her last action, she will spend 3 resources and overwrite her shriveling with a shriveling level 2, which gets her more charges, and she'll actually get a willpower boost, so she's smashing absolutely everything with that. Okay, so good deal. He has no... the Emergent Monstrosity has no prey, so we can put it on whoever we want. We'll put it on Agnes, and then we'll do Upkeep. So we will draw a card. Get a Fire Axe. Okay, well, she has an alternative way to do damage if we run out of shriveling charges. Or up to 2 resources. If we pull another one of those guys, and then Wendy will get another double or nothing. I wonder if we get double or nothing. The shriveling. That would be interesting. Alright. We Doom advances. And this one says, the next train car is ripped backward with a violent force. A middle-aged man hangs from his fingertips as the car flies unhindered toward the rift. In moments, the car is consumed whole. The man lets go rather than be pulled into the void. He starts to fall, but is caught by the rift's force and pulled inside anyway. Remove the leftmost location from the game, etc. You remove all clues, which now means the newspaper is putting Wendy at a 5. So she's up by 1 on that investigate, but she can use flashlight to reduce it down. So that's pretty good. And this happy little acolyte goes away, along with the passenger car. So, cool. Alright, and we are now at a 4 doom threshold here, with some nice flavor text. The pull of the rift in the sky seems to grow stronger, and the entire train begins to roll backwards along the tracks. The rearmost cars of the train begin to rattle. The force of the rift threatens to detach them. You must get out of these cars as fast as you can. Alright, that is true. Let's get done with this. Alright, encounter cards. Agnes will get Frozen in Fear. That is unfortunate. Okay. But I guess better her than anybody else. And then Wendy will get Mysterious Chanting. Okay, so we place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist, but there isn't one, so then we have to go spawn one. So that's okay. We can do that. Alright. So we will look for one. I think grab an acolyte. Have we gotten all the acolytes? We have. So I think we just grab a Wizard of the Order. We could go out of the discard pile, but it's nice getting the Wizard of the Order out so I don't have to deal with him anymore. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go shuffle this back in, and I'll grab an acolyte. I think he ends up just spawning at the back anyway and just generating doom, and we don't care when we pull him later on. So You know, Agnes actually... Oh, I should have warded Protection of the Frozen in Fear. That would have been such a good play. Such a good play, and I didn't do it. Ugh. Alright, anyway. No take-backs, I guess. It would have been a good play, because she would have taken a horror, and she could have put a damage on the monstrosity. And then she wouldn't have had the Frozen in Fear. It would have, like, solved 2 problems. But, not thinking like an Agnes player, am I? This is actually, I think, one of the limitations of two-handed versus multiplayer, is you're so focused on 2 things that you miss some of the interactions you might have. You know, if you're just focused on just your player or what you're doing. But, alright, so, Agnes is going to go first. We're just going to shrivel, because that's all we can do. We're going to shrivel. But actually, you know, we might actually, you know, draw a picture token and take a horror anyway, which would then kill the genetic monstrosity. We're at 5, 6, 7, 8 to beat 4, up by 4. Really solid. We actually want like a cultist or something, so we'll take a horror from the shriveling. But no luck. Now we'll probably get it. So that took us 2 actions. So the last action we're going to shrivel again. +1. He goes into the victory display, so that's a victory point for us. So that's not nothing. Alright, and then she'll test for Frozen in Fear. She's at 6v3, which seems okay. Now we get the skull. That is -3, so she passes. Let's go on. This, I assume, should be 1 horror on the cat burglar. Otherwise, he would be dead. Alright. So, the first thing Wendy does, we're just going to take the passenger, look through the passenger's luggage and get 3 resources, because why not? Alright, we have extra actions here. We have 3 more actions. We're going to investigate with flashlight. We're at 5v2 now. Which seems pretty good. Alright, -2, we get the clue. So here's the thing. We can move in and evade. We'd be evading at a 5v2. That seems okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so she'll move in. We'll see what's what. Alright, this is 4 clues. It's a 3 shroud. After you enter the passenger car, you must discard cards from your hand at least 2 intellect icons or take 2 horror. Okay. And of course, this guy goes on her. Do we have 2 intellect icons? We can drop the double or nothing and the newspaper, which we will do to handle that. Okay. And I think the right of seeking is what's going to enable us to get all those clues anyway. But actually, we're semi-okay with using the flashlight as well. So, alright, she's going to evade. This is her last action. We're a 5v2 by 3. -3. We pass. It's evaded. And that is both their turns. So, the Acolyte re-engages. We'll do Upkeep. Really use a Forbidden Knowledge. Get a Gut instead. The Forbidden Knowledge, because we could just ping that Acolyte for, you know, damage. Here we're up to 3 resources. And then Wendy will get a Perception and a resource. Alright. We are at 2 of 42. And we'll get an Ancient Evils. So Agnes will just spend 1 to ward it. I think we're far ahead, but let's not get cocky. So we'll ward it. We'll take a horror. We'll put that horror on Peter. And then Wendy will get Claws of Steam you test 3 willpower, and if you fail, take 2 damage. You cannot move from this, and damage must be assigned to your assets first available. Okay, so 2. This is actually kill Leo, which we don't want. So we're going to commit Cat Burglar. Ironically, being the one thing that might die to this, but actually he wouldn't die because he's only got 1 horror on him. All right, we're up to B3, and we will probably pitch our perception if we fail this. Okay, -1, we pass. Okay. Being able to undercommit to tests, such a good trick. All right, so now I think Agnes just comes in and pings or shrivels the acolyte. She could come in, play Fire Axe, but if she played Fire Axe, she'd be at what? 1, 2, 3, 4 to do damage, and that's just not great. So yeah. So she'll come in and she will shrivel the heck out of this. It feels bad when I'm running out of shriveling charges. We'll shrivel the acolyte. We are at 5, 6, 7, 8 to beat 3, which is okay. Elder Sign, so she gets another 1. 9 to beat 3. It's dead. Let's do him. Okay, and then for her last action, we will go ahead and Rite of Seeking. What was the shroud here? It was a 3. So we're at a 5, 6. To beat 3. We'll go ahead and commit a Guts to this. Just make sure we pass. So we're at 8 to beat 3. And we'll let's draw a card as well. Okay, -1. So we get 2 clues. Oh, she had to do the 2 total intellect icons when she came in. So I would have, let's see, or what is it? Or take 2 horror. So yeah. Oh! Okay. Well, whatever. Well, we actually could have, used that horror to ping the acolyte. Golly, I have made so many misplays here. Alright, well, she gets a card to draw off the shriveling, and she gets Internal Injury. So at the end of her turn, she takes 1 direct damage. Awesome. Okay, now it is Winnie's turn. Let's see if I can misplay her less. Alright, we'll take the 2 actions to clear the internal injury first. Let's see. She's got 2 actions left. Alright, we will spend 4 resources here and play Will to Survive. So now she's not going to... as a matter of fact, we're not going to clear Agnes's internal injury. Agnes can take care of that herself. Because since we've got 4 actions with Will to Survive, we're just going to do it. So she's playing Will to Survive. So she doesn't have to pull tokens for anything that she's doing. Okay. So she is going to investigate using Flashlight. Drop the shroud to 1. She will commit double or nothing and perception to this test. So she doesn't have to pull tokens. She passes. She gets both clues for a first action. And she gets to draw 2 cards off the perception. So she will draw a Lucky and another Leo DeLuca. Okay. Then she will move into the engine car, which we have this Act 1 resolved as soon as we get into the engine car. And it says, the investigator entering the engine car reads the following. A tender car filled with coal blocks your way into the engine cab. Swallowing your fear, you climb out of the nearby window and clamber onto the roof of the train, making your way across the tender car. The steady backwards motion of the train makes it difficult. You keep your footing. As you get close, a winged creature swoops down from above, its body composed of piping hot steam. You must decide. Test Agility 3 to attempt to dodge the creature. If you fail, you leap too far and barely grip the side of the train, hanging on for dear life. Although you manage to pull yourself up The experience is terrifying. You suffer 1 mental trauma, or we can test 3 fight to attempt to endure the creature's extreme heat. If you fail, the creature flies through you and the heat burns you. You suffer 1 physical trauma. We are going to do the agility test. We don't have to pull a token because of will to survive. So we just pass. And then we have get the engine running. You've managed to make it to the engine cab, but now you have to get to the engine started again so you can outrun the pulling force of the gate. If there are no clues in the engine car, immediately advance. So let's see what's in the engine car. Alright, after you reveal the engine car, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Grappling Horror and draw it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Well, that's less than amazing, but get a Grappling Horror. And there are 4 clues here. It's a 2 shroud, 4 clue location with victory point 1. And we have our good friend, the Grappling Horror, which is actually the next card we would have drawn anyway. It's a 3/3/3. We have no way of fighting it right now, even though we're passing all of our tests. Auto-passing all of our tests, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't take the 2 actions. Clear the internal injury. That would have been a waste of a will to survive. But as noted, I've already made several misplays here. Alright, so she will evade. She doesn't have to pull a token, so automatically evades. And then she can investigate, not pulling a token and getting a clue. So we're in good shape. Alright, the Grappling Horror engages her. And it is time for upkeep. Agnes will draw Heirloom Viperborea. Okay, that's nice. And she gets a resource. We should have healed a horror up here. And hey, look what I found from Wendy. That's nice. Might be able to get all those clues. Okay. We are at 2 of 4 doom, and Agnes will draw a Mysterious Chanting. So we will go ahead and I think just grab the Wizard of the Order. Where was he? Yeah, here he is. And we'll put him here. Because right now I think we're so ahead of the Doom clock that we don't need to worry about him generating Doom back there. We'll lose a turn, but it's okay. And then Wendy will grab Dissonant Voices. Okay. So she can't play assets or events. Okay. So Agnes will take an action to move in. That's 1. Action 2, she's going to spend a resource to play Delve Too Deep because we're being greedy. If she gets a treachery she can cancel, she can put a damage on the Grappling Horror and then just shrivel it. So we each draw an encounter card. Agnes will get, oh my gosh, the emergent monstrosity location to your right, or your location, if there's, oh my goodness. But it enters play exhausted, so I don't know that we can get this victory point. But this goes, oh, and then Wendy will get another Helpless Passenger, which goes to the left, and surges into a Terror from Beyond. We have to choose one of the following. Okay, I have to do this without looking at what Agnes has, but I think both cards are light on skill. I know Wendy doesn't have any skill cards, so we'll say skill cards. We'll each choose skill cards. And indeed, Agnes has no skill cards. Okay, now I could play another Delve Too Deep, or we can take a shot at the Emergent Monstrosity. I feel like we're good. Oh, this, oh, he only gets at the beginning of the round, so actually he will lose no turns by pulling that out. The other thing is, I could just play the Fire Axe so that I have a way to do damage, but it's not really great. think we'll have to do the Emergent Monstrosity. I'm going to just be greedy and see if there's just how much we can handle. We'll play another Delve Too Deep. Yeah. Okay. This might be too much, honestly. We'll draw an encounter card. We get an Arcane Barrier. Okay, this will do nothing. It's an attached cost to move in or out of location. It says 4 willpower, and successfully discard it, otherwise discard. We're not moving in or out of this location, so it is fine. And then Wendy gets an Ancient Evils. So we do not advance. That actually makes this Wizard of the Order not make us advance, which is nice. So that's cool. Okay. At the end of our turn, we take a damage from the internal injury. So we are at 5 of 6. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's the end of our turn. So there's a question of, like, maybe Wendy we don't worry about killing. We just try to get all the clues. Maybe that's what we do. I think that is what we do. She will evade. Oh, we can't play Lucky, though. And can't play Look What I Found. So we're actually, like, not in a good shape to finish this time. We might get defeated as Agnes. She'd drop all our clues. Not fantastic. Alright, so we're evading at 6v2. No, 5v2. We're up by 3. We're beating the skulls, at least. Okay, -3. So the Grappling Horror is evaded. Okay, now we can investigate. We're at 3v2. We'll just commit Look What I Found. Be 5v2. That's 0. So we get a clue. We'll investigate again, committing Leo. We can toss this Lucky. I don't know if we want to do that, but we're up by 2. I wonder, you know what? Agnes has a right of seeking. She'll contribute to this test as well. Well, so that gets her to 3 up. 6v2. That's 3, 4, 5 v2. 3 up, yeah. Math is hard. Okay, 0. She gets the clue. If we get this last clue, we can just advance. I just don't think we have a good chance of hitting. That's a monstrosity. Okay, and then we don't have to worry about Agnes dying, so that's the thing. Okay, so last one we'll use the charge with flashlight. We're at 3v2. No, 3v0. Oh, yeah, it's down to 0. Yeah, so if we do the autofill, we can should be able to get this. Okay. Skull. We can't go below 0, so we get the clue. And we satisfy the objective. The engine roars to life and kicks into motion. You shovel coal into the engine's firebox and are relieved to see that the train is moving forward along the tracks once again. And we get our 1. So that's successful. And we get a victory point from here. We get the Emergent Monstrosity and 2 Delve Too Deeps. So, yeah, 4 victory points. That's actually more than I usually get from this scenario. I'm actually thinking I might replace the Delve Too Deeps at this point, because I'm finding it's difficult to find things to spend XP on, at least for Wendy. But just because there's not many upgrade cards in this card pool that I'm excited about. So anyway, I feel like that went well, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time on Winging It.